Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It's December 7th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and another just it's like they're up down days, down up, and pretty bullish day today. It went flat. I mean, most of this move came early, and then we just kind of went flat after that. So, but we closed high. We ended up closing close to the high. So it's a bullish day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Will we turn back down if we extend this on? We turned down right off that upper line. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know what to expect with this market. Probably more sideways. Who knows? There's no rhyme or reason to anything this market's doing right now. It wants to go up and it's struggling and it can't go. It won't go down, and so we're just kind of hung in limbo here and have been for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Basically 2 straight weeks. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, but there it is, a bullish day. We did have an uptrend. Not a lot of trades today. It's another one of those days where the market would just shoot off and it wouldn't really give you a good setup. And um, but we'll see that. Let's flip over there. Well, what we have here is we spiked up and went into this channel. Um, we just never really came back to this trend line again. So you had to trade the shorter term stuff, and there just wasn't a lot of trades today. It was a really poor day. You had to sit tight really from 9 o'clock until lunchtime, and then there were only a couple more after that. So I mean, there's some green ones in there, but just not a very good trading day, especially for a bullish day. But you can see we took all that move in one move, and we actually made another little move here, but took all of that back and then some of this original move, and then shot up one more time, and then just pretty much went sideways the rest of the day. So just not, this is really extended here over. So just not a very good trading day. Um, like I said, really from 11 o'clock on, very low volume and no movement at all. Tried to push higher and it failed and came back. So anyway, let's zoom in here, go through the trades. This is Thursday, so this will wrap up our week. No chart lessons on Fridays. I try to get out here by noon on Fridays lately just to get a break, and I'll be doing that tomorrow. So, but we'll be back Monday, and we're getting close to getting into the holidays. Let me pull up a calendar here. Okay, it looks like this coming Monday's the 11th, and so I will work all next week, and then that following Monday after next week, 2 Mondays from now, will be the 18th, and I will take off. I'll work all next week and take off Friday, and I'll take off the rest of the year after that point. It won't come back till after the 1st. So the market's probably going to get really slow during that period. I mean, anything could happen. I mean, sometimes you'll get some rallies or some sell-offs, but generally the volume will get lower as we go into that last couple of weeks of the year, and things will kind of slow down, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, we'll work all next week, and then that's pretty going to be it for 2023. That's going to wrap up my year because I'm going to take off the last 2 weeks of the year. So I'll give you a reminder before that time comes. But let's get to the chart lesson today. We'll zoom in here a little closer where you can see this. Sometimes I forget to zoom in, and people probably struggle to see it on the video. But you really couldn't start trading. We had this 7:30 news item up here. 7 o'clock came as we're rallying up, so you really didn't get a chance to enter here. And this thing just took off, and it just never really gave you a chance to enter. Kind of went sideways and dropped, and then we're just kind of chugging along here. This is a second entry right here. I'm not crazy about it. It's one that you probably could argue for that to be green, but this is just a failed breakout, and it looks like this probably just expanded here. Well, I know not probably, it did, because this turns out to be the midline. So maybe you take that trade. It made a new low. It doesn't have any body. Sometimes those are a little wacky, but this is a double top right here. So Actually, your second entry is right here. Um, so yeah, you might even enter there. It's not a perfect signal bar. I'll make both of those green actually. At least you got a double bottom here now. It does make a slightly lower low, but if it breaks higher, um, it's probably going to at least, I mean, you expect it to maybe at least go back to this little double top, which gives you room to get out. So maybe you take either one of those. I'm not crazy about either one. They're not high probability trades, but maybe you take them. And then, of course, we turn down. There is a reversal here, but it's right into that support, right in that midline. So you can't really go short right there. And you see it struggles before it goes lower. And it runs down here and finds the bottom. There's a higher low here, but signal bar is no good. Comes back again here. Maybe you call this a triple test, but this is a really big bar, and it gaps over and runs up. So it's doubtful you could get in it. If you could at least make it green, but I doubt you could get in that. But it comes back here, and you get it for sure. This is all really one move. So really, I look at that as just one test and then a second test, and this is really your third test. Um, so you can go along right there. I think there's one extra tick there. Then it comes back here again, but again the signal bar is so big and it's right into these highs and it's not far. I think there is room to get out before the midline. Now see, there's not even room to get out before the midline there. But the last couple of times up there we pushed through, so if it pushes higher, you'll probably get your scalp. But the concern is this right here, this lower high, and you see it did make a double top for a minute, but it continued to push higher. So maybe you enter there as well. Again, this is the only one I really like that's got a good chance of survival. And you can see none of them get any runners or anything. And then we finally break out up here, and you come back, you get a first entry, a second entry, and then you get a higher low here. This actually breaks lower and fails and turns up. I like going long on that one. I wouldn't go on the engulfing bar. Just wait till it closes, and if if it closes bullish, because that does confirm the trend line pretty much right there. Then it comes back again here. I marked this one green, but notice you got a double bottom here, so you got a new low. Then you run up, you get a first entry, second entry. So that when it breaks higher there, it's a failed second entry long, and there's actually a hidden second entry, regular second entry there as well. That's a little more advanced, so if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. It'll just confuse you. So concentrate on true second entries until you get a little more experienced. And basically what I'm saying is if you went to a smaller chart, you clearly see a leg down, a correction, and a second leg down, and then a second entry trigger. But you won't see it on this chart, so we call it a hidden one. And you got to be careful with them. You need to know what you're doing. They're a little more, it's a little more aggressive, so I marked it green. Turns out to be a good trade, but again, nothing more than a scalp out of it. And then this is just too congested. Same thing here. This one would be tempting if it made a equal low, but this is an inside bar, and we usually they don't really qualify. They're not good signal bars. Turned down twice up here, but it's too congested, no signal bar. And so you miss another nice move here. Just no chance to get in it. But you do get a close outside and a new low here with a nice signal bar. It actually breaks lower, reverses, and closes almost on its high. That's a good reversal bar that will probably run back to the EMA at a minimum. So again, it's aggressive because you're trying to pick a bottom, and that's not always a good idea. Even though in the bigger picture we're in an uptrend, you wouldn't really know that yet. I mean, you could get this trend line off these closes here, so it's a possibility, but it needs to be confirmed, and it never even gets confirmed because we just go higher and we work off the midline. So, but if you don't enter there, once again, there's no entry all the way up until here. You get a first entry, second entry, and it's not high probability because there's not much room to the high, and it's very congested. It's probably congested because this is a strong trend, and usually they don't have a very big corrections until the trend's over. And you can see you get a close outside. It'll probably make a new high. So the best I can tell you is measure that, see how much room you got, and you see you only got a point. So You might try for a little better entry, but you can see you wouldn't have got a better entry till it came back, and then it's too late to enter. So the best you might have done was saved a tick there, and there's still not room to get out. But this is a strong trend, and we're not able to correct, and that's why you have a little bit of congestion there. So if you understand that, maybe you take that trade. But notice you get a close outside, 2 legs up, and then you got a trend down with a close outside and a new leg or a new low. So that's 2 legs down. Again, there's no setup to go long there though after the 2 legs. Runs up, gets a close outside and new high all in one bar, and then we're just chopping sideways again. So if you got a good setup off of this line, off this support, take it, but there's not one there. There's no real short. There's a lower high here, but again, that looks congested. It's probably because prices are trying to go higher and can't, but that could mean it breaks lower and fails and makes a new high, and that's the problem here. You got this channel working up, and that's the first close outside, so it could push up for a new high. So I don't like going short there. You finally get a little failed break lower and then a higher low that closes back inside. That's the place to go long, and this is a double top, so that's a first entry, second entry as well. Although we're not looking for second entries in a range like that, if you see one, it still carries some weight because you do have your break and 2 legs to a new low, which usually leads to a reversal. So the odds are we're probably headed back to the highs. And that's where we go. And there's really nothing to get short on there. There's a, you got a little double top with a lower high, but there's not much room back to that last low. And you see what would have happened. You would have got burned on it. And you can't go long up here either. And so it breaks out and fails. And it comes back. You get a first entry. It looks like it's going to give you a second entry, but it never triggers, goes lower, and it gives you a second entry right here that quickly fails and confirms that trend line. So that's a failure. I like that one right at the high of the range. You're probably going to run back down to the lows, and lo and behold, you get you got to get a leg down, a close outside, another leg down. Again, there's a setup here, and you do have a break outside and a new low. But I would want a higher low here. Again, you might mark that green, but I think you're better off to wait on a higher low, which is here. And you can see it's just sideways, and the midline's offering resistance, so you really just can't go long there. But it gives you 2 legs up, and you do get a close outside the new high, then you get a big bearish reversal type bar. It opened on its high and closed on its very low, and closes back inside the range. So you could go a lot short there. It's a little late in the day, but it's clearly 2 legs up, and it's a second entry short because you got your new low here, first entry, second entry. There was really 2 legs there because even though it doesn't break lower, it's still 2 legs up, and you can clearly see that it runs up, corrects, and runs up, and then boom, 2 legs are over, and then you get 2 legs down before you get 2 legs up again. So I think you could go short right there, but and maybe go long there, but I wouldn't take anything else there. So that was it. I mean, it was that slow today. I mean, really, you can see there's just nothing there except a range, and you got to trade range rules on this. And there are some trends within there to help you out a little bit, but you're basically just trading a tight range there. And it wasn't 100% consistent. The lows were rather consistent, but the highs were not. So you just didn't get a lot of setups down here. But there it is. That's how I saw it today. I'm going to keep it short. It's really late already, so I'm late getting this up. I apologize. But I'm going to process this and get it out as quick as I can, and hopefully it'll be up. I mean, you won't know till it's here, but once you listen to this, I am definitely a little late getting it up tonight. So. But I'm about to get it out now, and no chart listen tomorrow. I'll see you Monday, final week of the year next week, and let's hope we get some good trading days. But I'm out for today. I'm out for this week. I'll see you Monday. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.